twerk, twerking. Twerk. She said she twerking. Twerk. I'm trying to get in. Twerk. She said she taking. Twerk. I want that 90, but she be stunting. Twerk, twerking. Twerk. She said she twerking. Twerk, twerking.
Lewis hitting him almost at will. The right hand did it again. It now looks as though he needs just one more big shot. So the referee says it's all over. Joe Lewis is
Joe Lewis, the Prince of the 269, international music producer, singer, songwriter, and engineer. Currently based out of Atlanta, Georgia, Joe is known for his creative approach and ability to cross genres as well as cultures. By cultivating his unique sound, Joe Lewis was able to produce Canada's #1 album, Anything by Dave Mack. These distinctive sonics have allowed Joe to work with the likes of Maroon 5, Bando Pop, Hit Boy, Stacey Barth, the Kalamazoo Symphony Orchestra, and many more. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Joe Lewis.
Yeah, my creators, what's going on? Woo, baby, we are here, season 5. That's right, I said it. Season 5. I know my creators. It took us a long time to get to season 5. Episode 100. Shout outs to Ava Toten, one of the dopest young aspiring rock and roll stars I interviewed off from my Groover. You know, shout out to Groover. If you wanted me to review your music, go to groover.co and have me review your music nonetheless. I am here on episode 101 of CUTS. You know what the CUTS stand for? Culture, Urban, Technology, and Sports. Now, my creators, I'm not going to lie to you. I am surprised of this talent that I have here in the building. Well, not in the building, well, remotely, right? Yeah. Yo, nonetheless, man, hit me up on IG. First time I'm knowing this young man, but yo, his resume of whom he's worked with. Oh, man, I'm going to read it off. Maroon 5, the Kalamazoo Symphony, Bando Pop, Stacey Barth, Jal Marcos, Ace B. King, Hit Boy. You know how Hit Boy been doing it out here. Mark Battles, and much more. I got Joe Lewis, music producer, engineer, artist in the building. What's good, my guy?
How you doing?
Hey, listen, my guy. We're not good to listen. Listen, after I just read that resume, you are not.
You want me to get hyped? How you doing, man? Let me get hyped with you. You gassed me up real quick.
That's what I'm talking about.
Let me get hyped with you, man. You did gas me up. Made me sound real good.
Nah, man. Ain't no gas up, man. This is, yo, dude, Nami, a Grammy nominated. Yo, dude, come on. There's no gas up with that. This is what my creatives need for this fucking season 5. You know what I'm saying? I mean, there's no other way but to go up. You know, with CUTS, you know, culture, urban, technology, sports. I don't know. How you doing, sir? What's going on, man?
I'm doing well. I can, honestly, I can never complain. You know, I get to do what I love.
Right.
I learned a lot. I worked with a lot of cool people. Always learning. So I think it's always kind of goofy to have a bad day when I get to do what I love, man. You know, there's a saying, if you do what you like, you never work a day in your life. There's something like that, you know?
Right.
So, it's not going to serve me too good to complain, so I'm always doing good.
Yeah, man, that's what's up, man. I'm really glad you're touching on that because, you know, here with CUTS, we always do our best to really, you know, emphasize that to our creatives, you know what I'm saying, that are coming into this creative space and wanting to really expand on their creativity and everything like that. And I feel definitely within what happened within the last 2 years, it made people really realize, like, yo, all right, hold on. It's not just about the creativity. It's about just living in general. And, you know, definitely with you, from what you just stated off that, you know, I'm definitely glad you touched on that. I want to touch with you on what's your emphasis about music production in a totality, in a sense, because on one hand, and me as an A&R, you know, this is things that I have to know, you know, when I scout the talent, because, you know, that comes to play in the decision that I make, and as well as my partner, shout out with DJ Chase from World Rock Sound Records, you know, on what we make. What do you feel would help the industry more? And what do you feel could be decreased out of the industry more? Take us into that.
I think total transparency and honesty could be increased more. And I think that the lies should be decreased. And of course, not even just the lies that, you know, everybody talks about the music industry being wicked and everybody gets down and there's a lot of liars and schemers. And that's general. So I'm not going to talk about that, but I think a lot of people aren't honest with themselves, and a lot of people need to be. They're lying to themselves. You know, I think that people have to be realistic about who they are, who they're going to be, who they are to music, who they are to their fan base. And I think once a person is honest, everything moves a lot more smoother. You know, you have cats that, like my favorite types of artists to talk with are the ones that go, yeah, I just want to, you know, make a living off my music. I want to live music. I don't want to be too big. I don't care about the money. I don't care about the fame. I just want to be in music. And I like those people the most because they're honest. They're not lying to themselves, and they're honest about their talent as well. And that's, for me, the biggest thing is being honest about the type of talent that you're going to be. You can't walk in a room and say that you're going to be the next Michael Jackson or Beyonce, but you have corner street talent. You're lying right now. And then because you can convince a whole team to believe you, they might be pushing it, but it's not going to happen. It's a waste of space, you know? So I feel like we have a lot of people trying to be in pockets that they're not cut from that cloth. They're not a superstar. So now we got a bunch of fake superstars, and it's watered down our industry completely. Like, you probably couldn't name one artist that came out in the 10s and 20s that fans pass out when they see and they freak out, you know, because people aren't being honest anymore. Everybody wants to be a superstar. They don't want to play their role. So I think that honesty is I live and die by the truth. But I think that if more people were honest with themselves and who they can be and the potential that they can or cannot reach, I think that would help the industry a lot. There's a lot of people that want to be superstars that aren't superstars. A lot of people that are superstars, they don't want to be a superstar. You know, some of the most talented people I've met, they hate being famous to the point where man, I had a friend, he's 8 years older than I am, maybe 10. He caught a little glimpse of fame, absolutely hated it. And he would go through lengths and sell off all of his rights or not get any royalties so that his name wasn't on the song. That way no one knew that he did it. No one knew that he was even a part of it. He, you know, just get to keep quiet with his family, make his money, and no one knows that, you know, he has these bigger songs out. He's just hanging out, you know? And I don't know. It's interesting to see people like that. I never understood it until I started working in the music industry and was like, okay, fame is a whole different job from being an artist. Like, just being able to handle, especially with social media, it's a whole different job. So I can see how somebody didn't want that. But on the opposite, we have many more people that just want to be famous. So, you know, I don't know, it's interesting, but I think that you know, people need to play their roles, be more honest, and if they were more honest, the way I look at music is like a woman or like a person you're in a relationship with.
All right, go into that. All right.
So you have to be honest with it. So I have this saying, you know, what have you done for music? What are you doing for music? What have you given to music? And if you haven't given yourself to music, like my homeboy, superstar talent, he's not giving that to music, and it shows. He doesn't always get what he wants, not living up to expectations maybe, but he's not living up to, if music says you're a superstar and you choose not to be, you're not having a healthy relationship with music. And music is already a very toxic relationship. Right. If you are somebody who's not a superstar, but you go up to music and you say, hey, music, I'm a superstar, you're starting off your relationship with music in a lie. So I don't know, man, it gets pretty complex, but I definitely look at music like a platonic relationship, a very one-sided, toxic, one that you don't know when she's gonna love you back, but when she does, that's gonna be the sweetest love you ever got. But I think a lot of people just need to be more honest in who they are and give to music what they're called to give, not run away from it if it's too big, but also not lie about it if their role is too small and try to be big. Everybody just got to play their roles, and I think music can get back on course, especially in the States.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. I'm definitely glad you touched on that, because for me, as probably with you, probably definitely contributed double-digit years in this industry and everything like that. Yeah, it does become a fine line between, okay, who are the fronters and who are the real people that made moves and made it happen. And it's unfortunate that social media and as well as technology played a huge role. You know what I'm saying? Because now you could, let's say number wise, let's say 100K, right? Let's say 100K following and 100K with streams on Spotify. That now solidifies you as a superstar, which is weird. And there's too many blurred lines happening out here. Even shout outs to Joe Button. He even like had to a lot of times on this episode, had to shut that shit down. Like, yo, bro, if XYZ comes out, you all are pushed to the motherfucking side. Let's just keep it a buck. It is what it is. Yeah, hell, even me, for what I do in media or whatever. Hey, if XYZ superstar media person is on the bill, hey, guess what? Reem'o Meerak cuts. You know what I'm saying? Doesn't matter if I'm with Class TV or not. I'm with DJ Chase Radio, iHeartRadio or not. It doesn't fucking matter. I hate to say it. Keep it real. Hey, I'm getting to the side, but don't get it fucking twisted though. Okay, Reem'o Meerak is gonna get his regardless. You know what I'm saying? That ain't no short change of that. You know what I'm saying? But I definitely get what you're saying. I'm definitely glad you touched on that. Let's go through with your journey, man.
Yeah.
I know there's definitely been trials and tribulations with your journey as you do with music and what you've done since the age of 10. What do you feel could have changed better for you? Or for that matter, what do you feel you're glad you stayed in position in doing?
So, and there's a lot. Since I was a kid, I've been a musician, I grew up being a drummer in the church. I think actually my earliest memory that I can repeat to people is when I was in church and the drummer gave me a set of bongos and a splash cymbal. And I was so little, I thought he gave me a pair of toms. So I thought I was playing the drum set with him and he gave me these little bongos. And ever since then, I just, been in love with music. And my parents got their own church when I was about 7 or so. And I started working the sound system at the church because our church was small, didn't have a band or any musicians. And I'm a bigger guy, so I started playing football.
Oh, nice.
Especially, I played D tackle.
Oh shit, damn. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Right. So I grew up being a musician, and then I started playing football probably when I was about 8, and it took me probably until I was like 20 to understand that you can be masculine and soft, because in my mind, music was always something very soft, delicate, creative. I was always jealous of the theater kids that they can go on stage and be that expressive, but I got to go put on a helmet and shoulder pads and try to knock somebody out, and I loved football, but I didn't think that a person could be both. I didn't think you could be strong and soft, So I was always in band classes. And I didn't start producing music until I was 19. And that's when I quit playing college football. And to answer your question, if I could go back and change anything, it'd be this conversation that I had with my dad, actually. I'm a smart kid, wasn't always the best student, talked a lot, fooled around a lot, made jokes, talked to the girls. And in my fifth grade year, I think I got a D in every subject, and except for music. Sixth grade, my music teacher writes in the comments on my report card, Joe has a really nice voice. He's very smart in regards to music. He should probably consider a career in music. My dad was so pissed because my parents are principals and pastors, so they work inside the school system. So the principal's kid just, if it wasn't for George Bush's No Child Left Behind, I probably would have had to repeat the 6th grade, because I literally like D or F every subject except for music. My dad pulled me outside. He said, "You want to be a music man? This is what you want to do? What your teacher said." And as a kid, I'm like, "Oh man, shit. Don't answer yes. That's the smart ass answer to give is, yeah, I want to do music." So I was like, "Nah, I don't want to do music." And at that time, I had already stopped taking my piano lessons. I had teachers that couldn't teach me because I learned by ear. So I ran through 3 teachers, and the third one figured out how to teach me. And by the time I got to the 6th grade with this report card, music was kind of just a hobby. I had a keyboard, I had a drum set, but had no outlet to, and had no advice or mentors to help me take it more serious, or anybody who could comprehend how to teach me, because I learned by ear. So if I could change anything, I just would have been honest with my dad and like, yeah, I want to do music, and told him I don't know what that means, I don't know what that looks like, but I want to do it. Where I'm from, Greg Jennings is from where I'm from, TJ Duckett is where I'm from, Derek Jeter's from where I'm from. So we know how somebody can play sports and grow. So by the 5th grade, I knew if I go play football all the way through, I can go to the NFL. I don't know what that means for my, like, in music. I had no idea that, artists get paid all this money, that there's a producer, there's an engineer, there's somebody that sets the stage up. So if I could change anything, I would have been honest with my dad in that moment and say, yeah, I want to do music. Because what if I said that, maybe they would have put me in more music classes, because my grades showed that I only cared about music. It wasn't that I only comprehended it, it's that I only cared about it. So if I could change anything, it would have been that conversation with my dad. Of course, a little 10-year-old, 11-year-old, I'm not thinking about the next day. So I wasn't thinking like, oh, you could do music if you tell them that you want to do music. I was trying to, kind of kill the mood, because my dad was pretty pissy. Because you got to think, bro, your dad come at you hot. You don't want to say the wrong thing, man. You're going to piss him off even more. It's the summertime. I don't want to be grounded. I'm trying to be outside with my cousins, But if there was one thing that I don't regret, it is, if I'm being honest, I don't regret not telling my dad that, because I believe that everything happens for a reason. So I remember I used to say, man, what if I told my dad I wanted to do music at 10 when we had that conversation? Maybe I would have started producing at 15, and maybe now I'm years ahead of where I'm at now. But I believe that God works how God works. So everything happens for a reason. So I can sit here and say, I wish I changed that, but at the end of the day, I'm where I'm at because I didn't say that, Who knows where I would have been, but I know that I'm here right now. So I can't harp too hard on situations like that, wishing you could have changed something. But if there's one thing that I would do over again, and I know this sounds crazy, but every sacrifice I've ever given because of music, I don't think twice about it. I've lost apartments, cars, friends, family, relationships, money, time, sleep, blood, sweat, tears, you name it. And I don't regret any bit of it. When I look at the difference between the people I started with and who I'm around now, and even the people that I'm around now, the one thing that stands out is I never stopped. I didn't. I remember when I quit my job, going on 4 years, this Black Friday actually. I had no money in my account. Family's tripping out, like, bro, don't do this. You're crazy as fuck if you're gonna quit your jobs because you want to go do music, and because you're in Atlanta, you have no savings, you have nothing's guaranteed. God told me to do it, so I did it, and I lost a lot. I remember the day I walked outside, my car was not there. It got repossessed. I remember countless eviction notices, on my apartment door. Times where I'm trying to figure out how to scrape together $10 for Little Caesars so I can eat it for 2 days. I don't regret any of those things because I had to go through that. You have to go through the suck. You have to go through the sacrifice. You have to go through the pain, and it shows you how bad you really want it. I don't regret anything that I lost. I don't regret any relationship that was affected by music. I don't regret any of it because I've been doing music full time for going on 4 years. I've been doing it, like producing and working in it for 7. I'm 26. There are, 50-year-olds who want to have my career. And if I'm being honest, I don't really think I'm shit. Like I feel like I'm barely even scratching the surface of what I can do. And when, hearing you introduce me, I'm like, damn, kind of cool. Like, you don't think about those things.
Yeah, that's what's up, son.
Like, damn, like, I kind of did do that shit, And, but I don't regret any of those things, because you have to sacrifice. When I was playing sports, you sacrifice your time, you sacrifice your body, you sacrifice friends and family, and you go through these losses so that you can become greater. So if it was one thing that I would not change and that I would do all the way over again 1,000% is take every loss, because I can say that I gave that to music. I can, if me and music are a person and we're in a relationship, I have a list of music. This is what I gave you. She has a list of what she gave me too, but I can say, oh, this really hurt me. I had to give this one up. I changed my life this way. I went through these trials and tribulations for you. Mm-hmm. And when you can say that to music, and music can look at you and say, you know what, you're right. No one ever knows when, but at some moment, that button's gonna hit where your whole fucking life changes, because you gave. You can't ask. There's some type of saying, you can't hold on to something small and ask for something big. Or it's some picture of Jesus asking a little girl for her small teddy bear, and behind his back he has this huge teddy bear. And I believe that it's the same thing. You have to give what you already have if you want to receive more. So I mean, I would take every loss again, and I know that I'll be taking losses honestly the rest of my life when it comes to my music career, because of how I operate. Take them, because it's going to only make the career sweeter. It's going to make every victory that much more worth it. And I don't know, man, it makes things better. When I get a phone call and somebody goes, hey, this deal's in the next process, or this is going to happen next, or, do you want to work with so-and-so? It doesn't matter, how much I'm getting paid. I'm happy because I'm doing what I love. And I don't know, man, nothing beats that. Nothing beats, waking up and doing what you like. Like, my girlfriend's always telling me, oh man, you're a hard worker, you work hard. And I'll be beating myself up like, man, I don't think I worked hard enough. And she's like, no, I'm watching, you did this or you did that, or you put in this many hours. I don't notice it because I'm enjoying myself. And I think that that's a blessing. People get off the clock, they work 8, 12-hour shifts, and they're like, man, trying to figure out, what they want to do next, or if they're going to eat or sleep, or, they only got 12 hours left in their day, got to spend about 6 to 8 sleeping. So they don't have too much time to do what they like. I get to do what I like 24/7. So I never look at it as a work. So for me, it makes all those losses sweeter. And yeah, man, I wouldn't change any loss. That'd be my biggest thing to tell people. Don't be afraid to lose, and understand that if you stick with music and you stick with really anything that you're going towards, take the losses, embrace the sacrifice. It's gonna work out, so long as you work.
That's what's up, man. I mean, you definitely touching on what's always been said about when you're a creative or you're an entrepreneur. It's the magic number of the 10,000 hours. You're definitely speaking on that, and as well as
man.
too.
Oh man, that 10,000 hours is the truest shit I ever heard, man. Oh man, you know when you got your 10,000 hours fast. You know when you hit that mark.
Yeah, that's right. But also too, I definitely appreciate you opening up about you wish you would have, if you were then at 10 years old, would have had the decision to tell your dad, hey, yo, yeah, I do want that. You know what I'm saying? Because here's the thing that it gets blurred line about nowadays, right? So I even have a t-shirt out that's out now, and it's called Your Life Is Not an App. For me, I feel like a lot of people in this era right now and in these times, it doesn't matter older or younger, are living their lives like apps. So let's say if you say something, they feel, oh yeah, I can edit it, and this is what is correct. And it's like, yo, your life is not an app. So basically what you talking about, you know what I'm saying, is definitely, it's definitely worth it. It's like refreshing to hear, you know what I'm saying? Because you're being human. And in order to be in this creative space, you have to be human. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day. So definitely, I'm glad you definitely touched on that. Now let's get on. Now, before we got on wax, I definitely said we want to talk about this. We have to talk about your transition to Brazil. Now, Brazil is a very, 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 very particular type of country. You know what I'm saying? It's fire, it's lit, it's amazing, but also too, if you don't pay attention, you can get yourself in a lot of Dutch. So you have to take my creators into what in the world took you the energy and the spirit to say, you know what? Let me take my talents to Brazil, because it's definitely not like LeBron taking his talent to South.
Yeah,
we gotta get into that.
So it's actually it's kind of an interesting story. So I'm from Kalamazoo, Michigan. I moved down to Atlanta, I think 2018, and I was down there, you know, working. Had a studio running out of my apartment, and you know everything is going cool. I'm producing and engineering. I get this message on Facebook. I don't use Facebook that much, and he's this middle-aged dude. His name's Beto. He's a Brazilian, but he had moved over to Atlanta. He goes, "Hey, do you want to put an American rap on Brazilian samba?" I'm like, the hell is this? I've never heard of samba music before. I go to his profile. I'm like, man, who is this guy? And how did he find me? I still to date have no idea how Beto found me, because it wasn't Instagram. It was Facebook that I don't use. So I'm looking at the message. I'm like, you know what? What do these old men know about? Like, they just look like some dads, you know? Like, I'm not gonna respond to it. And I'll never forget this saying that one of my mentors has. He says, "You're never too big until you're too big. And even when you're too big, you're not too big." Now, when I was younger, I would ask him, what does that mean? You're never too big to work with somebody. Even when you're too big to work with somebody, you're not too big of a person. You just don't have time. So I said, okay, especially because at this time, I really wasn't shit. So I'm like, okay, respond to it, because who are you to say no to somebody wanting to work with you? So I responded and I said, hey, send a song over. I was still kind of iffy. I had no idea what Brazilian music sounded like, yet alone samba music, which is their cultural genre per se. There's no genre of music like samba music anywhere. They sent the song over, and this production was through the roof. I mean, it had live musicians on it. The instruments sounded crystal clear. Everything was in the pocket. It had the bass that was hitting. It had, you know, little elements of trap too, and you know, it was a nice fusion song. So off the production alone, and I had no idea what the hell they were saying in Portuguese, but off the production, like, I'll get on it. I did the verse, went to Hawaii, came back, we shot the video, and then that was in June.
Shit.
Yes, I went to Hawaii. On a side note, if anybody's ever, you know, questioning God or questioning like real beauty and creation, go to Hawaii and just look. Like, it's gorgeous, and it shows you true creation. Like, where they have rock formations that look like elephants and turtles and giraffes. Like, who created, you know, this beauty? But to go back to Brazil, we shoot the video in June. I get a message probably October, November. I think this is 2018, maybe, and 2019. I'm sorry. They say, hey, Joe, we're going to go down to Brazil in January. We want you to perform the song, because in Brazil, they love English music. So they really love when this, you know, English verse on the Brazilian song, because, you know, they love English music. Say, hey, you want to come down for 3 days? Like, who the fuck goes to Brazil for 3 days? I got a passport, no stamps. I'm going to go down there for 2 weeks and, you know, just take a vacation. Hadn't had a vacation in a long time to see what I can get myself into. They called the producer, and he ended up being a really big producer down there, which is why the production sounded so good. And they go, hey, you know, Joe's gonna come down. And the two artists that I was working with, they couldn't keep me where they were at because they were with family. So they were in two different cities. So I go to Rio just because the producer's there. He's the bigger name on the song. And Rio is, of course, touristy city. I went there by myself for about a week and a half before the rest of my team came down, and fell in love with it. I mean, I didn't know what Brazilians look like, but Brazil is the second most populated place of Africans, aside from the continent of Africa. So I got down there. I'm like, man, this like a bunch of my cousins running around. Like, I blended right in. So, you know, I didn't have any issues. I didn't walk around looking like an American or talking loud English. And for about a week and a half, because it was around the carnival time, I would walk out my Airbnb and I would hear drums, or I would hear music, and I would just follow the music, and I would go watch, a rehearsal for the parade, or I would go see a band, and just absolutely fell in love with the atmosphere, the way they appreciate music, the way their artists perform, the way that, for them, samba has no rules. It's almost like Latin gospel music. Gospel is all chromatic. When you get to a Baptist church, is the same in their samba. Like every accident or every accidental note is perfect. You can play every note. You just got to play at the right time. So nothing's off limits. Even when it comes to their percussion and their rhythm grooves. So my same mentor, he said, "Hey, you're never too big until you're too big." I told him I was going to Brazil. He had a TV show idea. He goes, "Hey, let's use this Brazil situation to capture this idea of a TV show that I have." So okay, whatever. So we go down there, and the team gets down there the back half of the second week that I'm there. We go do the performance. The venue got rained out, so we just did an in-studio performance. And the idea was to shoot this TV show, following, working with international artists. And I was just supposed to be the dummy tester person for the camera, so we can show hey, this is what it would look like. And we fucked that all the way up. I mean, it was horrible. It was bad. We didn't know what we were doing. The footage didn't come out correctly. We didn't get enough footage, and we had opportunities to get this show put on Disney or any other major streaming platform, because this was at the time right before the pandemic, where everybody's thirsty for content, right before Disney Plus opens up, before ABC has their own streaming platform. And we knew that we had kind of butchered it pretty bad after we got the film back, and after we looked and talked to our consultants, and they told us what we did wrong, what we needed to fix. So we said, okay, we're gonna go back down to Brazil in May. Pandemic hits. You can't even get into Brazil.
Damn.
So I spent the whole year just preparing and trying to figure out how to get back to Brazil. The moment Brazil opened up, I think it was last year, 2021, I went down there in April, and I was only supposed to be down there for 3 months. But before I actually, my first visit, my last 2 days there, I met my now girlfriend. So I fell in love right away. I mean, love at first sight, bro. Right when I looked at her, that's my wife. And I went down there in April, and she, came to Rio with me from where she lived at in Brazil, and just fell in love with it even more. And I went down there to prepare for the TV show, find the artists that we're going to work with, because now we have the funding. We need to do this on an actual major scale. I got to go, man, I'm scouting out every top 15 artists of a genre that they have. And I finally decided to stick with pop. I'm reaching out, doing all this organization and outreach to find the artists for our TV show, where me and my mentor go to different countries, work with a pop artist, do 3 songs, show the country, culture, things like that. And I went down there for that, and just kind of became immersed in all things Brazil. I don't know, man. It was a mixture between the music and my girlfriend, and then it felt like home, if I'm being honest. The very first thing that I got off the plane, the first time I got there, I was like, man, I feel at home, and I felt very comfortable. Not the same type of comfortability that I've had even where I'm from when I was in Atlanta. It was different. I kind of just feel it in my spirit that this was a safe space for me. And his name is João Marcos. He just moved to the States, actually. João was the first person. He produced the song that I was talking about that actually got me to Brazil. João was the first person that wanted me to be an artist. Did not want me to produce, did not want me to engineer, did not want me to do anything else aside from be an artist. And that was new for me, because I'm always a producer, I'm always an engineer, I'm always the one setting it up behind the scenes, never the person in front of the camera. And this guy was, just nice to me, really wanted to see me do well, really enjoyed my voice, really pay for the studio time. And it was that actually made me kind of fall in love. It was they'll let me sing down here. In America, I'm not gonna be able to sing. I gotta produce. They want me to make the beats. They want me to engineer. because everybody, you know, wants to be a singer or a rapper. So our talent pool is really saturated. Down there, I was appreciated. And then I seen how, you know, wide open their market is, and how dominant their consumption is in the world. Brazil's top 5 in internet consumption, but they have the 65th speed. So they have really slow internet, but they consume top 5. It's a huge market to tap into. I mean, even like the reason why everybody hates Chris got syndicated was because of Brazil. So when I started to learn all these things about Brazil's market, see the people, you know, and again, these are my favorite types of people. I love Black people and I love Latin people, and that's all Brazilians are, Black and Latin people. So, you know, a mixture between music, my girlfriend, feeling comfortable, seeing the market, the difference in the music, and just all these different things made it so that like this is a place to be, or this is at least the foundation to build off of and bring it back to America. There's a lot of things that Brazil does with their music in terms of appreciation that I want us to get back to. You know, every place is like a juke joint there. We don't have those anymore. We don't have live performers that sing for 4 hours.
Right.
You know, you're lucky to get an hour and a half. So it was a mix of all those things that kind of just made me choose Brazil and take my talents there, spend some time there, and just build a foundation to grow.
All right, man. That's what's up, man. I ain't gonna hold you, man. We got a little bit of time left. I wanted you to let my creators know where to follow you at. Thank you for definitely expressing your words and about your backstory and everything, man. Let everybody know where to follow you at. We're reaching out to my creators right now.
Oh yeah, man. You can follow me at joelewis.ent.joelouis on almost all the platforms. I'll try to keep my name the same. But, you know, follow me there, reach out to me, DM me if you ever need anything, production, consulting, advice. You just want to say what's up. My phone's almost always in my hand, so you know, feel free to reach out.
Hi, man. You already know what it is, my creators. You know what's up. You know to follow me at Reem'o Meerak _ as well as Cuts Podcast C.U.T.S _. You know what's up. You know what it is. There's another episode of Cuts. You know what the Cuts stand for: culture, urban, technology, and sports. This is episode 101. You know what's up. You know what it is. Pounding that chest. It's PTC. Come on, man. We are out of here. Peace.